If you're thinking about doing a few things around the house, maybe fixing something or making something, here's my list of tools that will get you well underway to doing those things. If you're going to do any stuff around the home or on a job site, first thing you need to do is be safe. You get one set of lungs, one set of ears, and one set of eyes. So you really need to look after them. Even if it is uncomfortable, it's just not worth taking the risk. Everybody should have some of these lying around. They're just Allen keys of various sizes left over from furniture that we've put together. If that's all you've got, next thing to probably get, some screwdrivers. This is a $10 set from Aldi. It's great, there's nothing wrong with it. From there, probably a shifter. Everyone needs a shifter. It's adjustable. Then we go into spanners. Then we've got multi-grips and pliers. If you're ready to take the next step, then you want to start looking at these things. All right, the number one tool in the kit, the first thing I think anybody should get who is interested remotely in DIY or being useful around the house when it comes to putting things together and making stuff, is a cordless drill. They're relatively cheap these days. There are so many brands. Cheap, all the way up to really expensive. Any of them are fine, they'll get you started. Cordless drill, you can drill holes, you can drive screws, you can put together furniture, fancy furniture, cheap furniture, whatever. It's so much quicker to use a drill than it is to use the Allen keys or little screwdrivers they provide for you. Number one tool, cordless drill, very handy. When you buy a cordless drill, it's often more cost effective to buy them in a kit. You get an impact driver and a drill. You'll usually get 2 batteries and a charger. It might save you a few $100s down the line. So if you're thinking about getting a bit more serious about things, buy an impact driver. These impact drivers are really only meant for driving screws. You can drill holes with them, but they're really just designed to drive screws. But there is nothing that this does that this won't do. This is actually more powerful than an impact driver, believe it or not. That's for a later video. The next thing you're gonna need are some drill bits and some driver bits to go with your cordless drill. I'll go into that way more in detail down the track. But basically, if you're really entry level, get yourself one of these mystery kits. It's got a few drill bits, it's got a few different driver bits, it's got some extension bits. It'll do most of what you need to do for about 10 bucks. Equally as important, a tape measure in millimeters, of course, and a pencil. Measuring, marking, recording. Very basic. Next down the line will be a hammer. They have a lot of uses. They range from $5 to about $1,000 these days. You don't need a $1,000 hammer. Just get yourself a claw hammer. They can pull out nails, they can bang in nails, they can break stuff, they can bang stuff together. Hammers are great. A handsaw is also very, very handy and also very, very cheap. I use these in the garden. I use them when I can't get a power tool in there, but you can use them to cut virtually everything if you've got enough strength or stamina or determination. My second pick for a DIYer would be the multi-tool. Now this is a corded one. They come in cordless. Cordless is great for convenience. Corded generally has more power, but it comes with a cord. So, you know, you've got to find somewhere to plug it in and all of that. When you're doing stuff around the home, you're not necessarily trying to get the job as easy, get it done as quickly and as easy as possible. You're just trying to get the job done. That's what a multi-tool will do. You can cut anything from plaster to soft metals at a pinch with it. You can use it to sand stuff, tight little spaces. You could use it to sand a whole piece of furniture if you really wanted to. If you had, again, the patience and the tolerance and the stamina. You can use it to clear out grout and replace your grout in your shower or your splashback or whatever. You want to replace the grout, that's a little diamond tip bit. You can buy really expensive blades, or you can get really cheap blades online for about $3 each versus 40 bucks for this. Now what I use it for mostly is cutting nails when I'm doing weatherboard repairs, or, and this is what I think the DIY would use it for, when you're doing furniture stuff and you want to put a cabinet against the wall, you want to cut that skirting out really neatly without destroying the rest of the skirting, this is what that tool excels at. Also when you're doing floating floors and you want to undercut your doors so you get a really neat finish and get your floor under those door jambs, you can use this instead of a wall saw. Now, the thing about the multi-tool is it's often not the best tool for the job, but it is a tool that will get the job done. So with the multi-tool, you can spend anything from say 60 bucks online and get a cheap one. It'll get the job done. It's probably gonna vibrate. It's probably gonna be noisy. It'll definitely be corded. Or you can spend anything like, I don't know, $600 or $700 for a Fez tool or a fine one. They're great, but you don't need that as a DIYer. Not just for DIYers, also for trades, because sometimes it is literally the only tool that can do the job in a neat and quick way. Very convenient. So a few more little things that you can get that are very cheap, very handy, and quite small, so you can just pack them away in a little toolbox somewhere. Limitless uses. We've got a chisel. Great for chiseling things, scraping things. A string line. This is probably not quite as obvious, but this is what we use to make things straight, to check things for straight, to check things for square. It's what we use to set things out. String lines have so many uses. They've been using them since, I think, the beginning of construction, and we still use them. Very cheap, about $3. You can buy a chisel for about $5. A decent chisel might set you back, say, $50. All right, clamps. So many different types of clamps. These are, I think, just about the cheapest you can buy. They come in a pair, they're about $15. They're an extra set of hands. You will use clamps once you start to use them for everything. They turn a circular saw into a track saw, which we'll get into way down the track. They're great to work safely, so they almost go with your safety gear, because if you're cutting something for the first few times and you're not confident with a saw, a hand saw or a circular saw, you clamp the work down with some clamps and it won't move and it stays nice and still, which makes you safer. Okay, so I'd say that's about where the DIY kit could end if you just want to be doing little maintenance things around the house. But if you find yourself wanting to fix some slightly bigger scale things, you want to take the next step and buy yourself a circular saw. Again, cordless options are out there. They're much more expensive, but they're great. A corded one, on the other hand, is very cheap. This thing, I think, set me back about $90. These days they might be up to about 110. There's cheaper options. As far as making things go, you can pretty much cut anything with a circular saw, from cement sheet with the right blade, all the way up to big posts with enough cuts. Circular saws will almost always come with a rip guide. They help you do repeatable ripping cuts. That's cutting along the length of something. Now, if you're starting to find yourself doing more cuts and you want to be accurate about it, you're going to need some sort of square. This is a combination square, 45 degrees, 90 degrees. You can adjust it to make consistent marks. You can also use it as a level at a pinch. Not something that you want to always rely on, but it has got a spirit level in it. So we're taking the next step now and we're making things. We want them to be accurate. We want them to be neat. And to do that, you'll need a spirit level. We've got a couple of different spirit levels here. These ones are what I use a lot. They're 2 meter levels, they're $200. You don't need to spend that much on a level. There's 300 mil levels all the way up to 2 meter, as I said, 2.4s. This is a 1200 level. It's a really good all-rounder, not that expensive, lots of options out there for you. It'll do what you need it to do. If you want to hang a picture level, you can hang a picture level. If you want to put something in plumb, you can put it in plumb. These aren't always the best tool for the job, but they'll definitely get lots of jobs done for you. And in the future, I'll go into some of these tools in a lot more detail to teach you the best way to use them and how to get the most out of them.